Good morning to you in the casa. That's right. Dan Gresham's at home this morning, not in the studio. I've already been in the studio. We did the morning show earlier on KFDM. If you're just tuning in, trying to figure out what's going on, you've looked at the morning show, that something doesn't look quite right. Well, it's because we're having some technical issues. You may have read some of the stories in the news, but we're struggling with some technology, so we've had to modify things a bit. But we're trying our best to make sure that we still get you the morning show with your headlines and the forecast, and we'll continue to do that as to the best of our ability. Again, good morning. It is the 20th day of October for 2021. Kind of hard to imagine that we're that deep in October, just 10 days away or so from making it to November. A little bit warmer out this morning. If you haven't been out the door, you want to grab a cup of coffee. You're going to sit on the back porch and have your coffee. It's not quite as comfortable as it has been for the last several days. Not bad, but I'm just saying if you're going to wear a long sleeve shirt, good chance you're probably going to be rolling your sleeves up before the day is out. Always like to remind you, this is not a one-way conversation here on Facebook and YouTube. You can comment if you would like. I see your comments. If you just want to say good morning, if you want to tell me where you're watching from, you have a question about what's going on in our community, great place to post it. And a good way for us to have an exchange. I see all of your comments. I can put them on the screen so you can see them. There's Desiree Colbert. She says she's on. Also, Loretta says, good morning, Dan. Tea Club. All right. Landon says, he offers up the Pledge of Allegiance. Cynthia Waters, good morning to you. Carlene is up this morning there in Nederland. And Nina says, I enjoy talking to you on here. Love saying hi to all. Well, I'm glad you have the opportunity to do that. Let me also ask one more favor. If you want to comment this morning, that's all well and fine, but almost as important, if you would give me a like, I would really appreciate that. It goes a long way to be able to show that, hey, we are getting some traction. We're reaching people, and we can show it to our corporate offices, and just kind of show that we're not here at home drinking coffee and playing around, but we actually are working from home. David Prue's up this morning. Hey, David. So not bad outside drinking coffee on the patio. I don't blame you, but again, not quite as cool, right, David, as it was the last couple of days. Hey, Faye Wiley. Hope you have a good day going so far. And Alita from Kuntz, good morning to you as well. So go ahead and comment this morning. We'll jump into that thing that we normally do here on the At Home Update, which is look at some of the topics that are happening around us in a much more casual setting than what we would normally do from the studio. So let's take it over this morning to Facebook. That's where we're going to start today. This is the KFDM Facebook page. Top story of the morning from across Southeast Texas is the fact that the United Steelworkers members got to vote last night on an ExxonMobil contract offer, and they are not going back to work. The membership apparently overwhelmingly voted no to that contract offer. So they will be back on the picket lines this morning. Interesting story. If you've been following, May 1st, ExxonMobil locks out 650 USW members. But since that time, over the course of 6 months, that 650 is now 500. And of that 500, from what I can gather from listening to the union executives, is that it basically they have about 500 paying members, and about 400 of them voted yesterday on that contract offer. And again, they did vote no. Union officials say they see some weaknesses in the contract as far as they're concerned. ExxonMobil, of course, their position, it's a fair offer. The two sides have not been able to come to something that the union can agree on, at least the membership. They hope to go back to the table. That's what they're telling folks is, it's hopefully as soon as possible. And of course, we'll continue to follow the story. But at this point, not a whole lot to talk about. It cannot be easy for these employees who are out. That's 6 months. That's a long time to go without a paycheck. That's a long time. So we'll continue to follow this story, see if they in fact do get back to the table for more contract negotiations. Remember, you can always go to KFDM's Facebook page. We post all of our local stories there, and you can watch the entire interview there that Angel San Juan did with union officials last night. Also, among the top stories we're watching this morning from the Texas Tribune, Governor Abbott, did he get everything he wanted in his special sessions? Probably not, but they did pass a couple of more big pieces he wanted. The question now is there any chance that they might call yet another special session? Looks like, there are a lot of people that are coming down on this one way or the other. It's pretty black and white, but most people at this point, and this is a story worth reading if you enjoy Texas politics, are essentially saying, we're not full-time legislators, that we are citizens as well. We are people who have to work for a living. We can't afford to keep. That's one side of the argument. The other, of course, being that, there are things that we didn't get done. We've got to get these mandates, and, we'll see. We'll see if it happens. Also this morning, a story that a lot of people probably would have just glossed right over and not seen. Yes, this is the Houston Chronicle. Delta 8 has been a hot topic of discussion, talked about here in the state of Texas. But while there were some questions concerning it, is a hemp byproduct, but it does involve also THC, among other things. But it was one of those things that when we talked to law enforcement in Southeast Texas, it just kind of said, look, we got our hands full. There's not much of a chance that, we're going to do an all-out press here to enforce, these stores don't sell Delta 8, because it was kind of a gray area when it came to state law. Well, looks like Texas is tightening up the restrictions, because the Texas Department of State Health Services has actually gone to the website and made it a little bit more restrictive. You can find out here, they updated their guidance for hemp manufacturers to announce that Delta 8 is an illegal Schedule I controlled substance. And boy, there are a lot of people that are not very happy about this. We live in a state where obviously you cannot buy cannabis legally, and you can buy it medically, but even that is very restricted. And the people are saying, you either have to decide one way or the other. And the question also that I'm curious from your point of view this morning, will Texas ever be a cannabis legal state? Do you think that's something that you would ever see happen? You can let me know. You can post up in the comments if you want to this morning on that. And as I said, I'm not going to keep you a long time this morning. I've got to get back to work, and I know you have things to do too. But I'll leave you with this. This is kind of a mind-blowing story, almost a sci-fi story, if you will, this morning. CNN reporting in their world segment about, I guess, the world's largest air purifier, if you will. You may have one of the, a small one in your home. Well, there are some people that are saying this is what we need if we want to clean up our climate mess. It's a fascinating story about how these companies in Iceland have decided that they would build these. It's called the Orca plant. But again, it's basically the idea is to remove, these carcinogens, among other things, out of the air and reach net zero emissions. I think it's worth reading. Like I say, all I could think of was, those big air purifiers. Why not just have giant ones that'll clean the world? Apparently, somebody beat me to that idea. All right. Again,